It's important to engage a lawyer who's aware of the steps that need to be taken to protect you, protect your family, and make sure the evidence is secure for future use.
Do you know what you should do if you're injured in an automobile collision? Well, that's what we're going to ask the lawyer on today's episode. Hi again, everybody. I'm Rob Rosenthal with AskTheLawyers.com. My guest is attorney Kathleen Reilly with Brady Brady Reilly, based in New Jersey. Kate, thank you for making some time to answer our questions today.
Good afternoon. It's my pleasure to be with you.
So let's start at the beginning. There's been an accident. Let's say there are injuries involved. What's your advice? What should someone do right from the beginning?
Well, obviously, right from the beginning, you want to assess the situation and make sure everybody's okay, or at the very least, reach out 911, call emergency authorities so that you can get medical assistance right to the scene.
All right, so let's say medical assistance is on the way or being taken care of. What's the next thing I do? How do I know if I need to contact an attorney such as yourself?
Well, accident cases are handled on what we call a contingency fee basis. That means you don't pay a lawyer unless they make a recovery on your behalf. So it's important to engage a lawyer who handles accident claims. And importantly, not all lawyers do. But those of us who specialize in accident cases know that there are a number of steps that need to be taken following an accident to preserve the evidence affecting that accident. What do I mean by that? I mean the scene. There may be video from local stores or traffic cameras that will show exactly what happened. There's also evidence contained in the local 911 system, communications that are maintained either by a county or a local town, which will hold the communications between one police officer and a dispatcher or between emergency vehicles. These are all important sources of evidence. Often when someone calls 911, they just blurt out what happened without any protection or second guessing, which may come later. So it's important to engage a lawyer who's aware of the steps that need to be taken to protect you, protect your family, and make sure the evidence is secure for future use.
So you've brought up a couple of questions for me. First of all, if for whatever reason, maybe the injuries aren't so bad, or maybe there's someone there, do you recommend that the people take pictures on their own or talk to witnesses, or at least get names and phone numbers if they can?
Absolutely. We hope that the police officers will create a record, but unfortunately they're busy and they don't always get down the names of witnesses who come forward. So to the extent that you do have the names of people who often volunteer and say they witnessed an accident, you want to get their name, their phone number, so that an investigator can contact them and secure their information. Photographs should be taken absolutely at the scene of the other driver, of the license plate, of the property damage. Often insurance companies assess the value of a claim based upon the property damage to the vehicles. One vehicle might be more seriously damaged than another. While it often doesn't mean anything with respect to the injuries suffered, we need to know exactly what happened and what the scene evidence shows. So taking photographs is a very important step following an accident, and one I always recommend.
You mentioned that you operate on a contingency basis. What about that initial consultation? Should someone be prepared to have to pay something for the initial consultation, at least to even find out if they have a case?
Never. We always meet with our clients. We prefer to meet in person. During COVID-19 situations, we're willing to meet with them over Zoom. Whatever it takes to sit down and go through the facts, find out what happened, and attempt to assist in any way we can. Sometimes the client might even be responsible for the accident. We'll instruct them what to do, what steps they need to do to protect themselves. But there is absolutely no fee. So there's no reason not to meet with an attorney immediately following an accident so that you know what insurance companies are involved, what steps need to be taken. Most importantly, some doctors won't treat patients who are involved in accidents. We do deal with a number of doctors who are very well qualified and who understand the different systems that apply when people are involved in, for instance, motor vehicle accidents. And there's a different insurance situation that must be adhered to in order to set up the correct file and enable the client to get the treatment to which they're entitled.
You mentioned that sometimes you may help a client find out whether or not they're at fault. So these kind of things sometimes happen very quickly. Maybe they don't know who's at fault, or maybe they're partially at fault. Okay, does that mean they don't have a case if there's some partial fault? I don't know how that works in New Jersey.
No, in fact, in New Jersey, we have to prove that the other person or the other party is more than 50% responsible. We're known as a comparative negligence state.
Okay.
So if there is an accident and there is fault on the part of both or one or more people, it's important that we preserve the record even more clearly so that we can establish that our client was not the one that led to the happening of the accident. While there may be facts that indicate he or she has some evidence, it's the party that was a proximate cause of the accident who is responsible to compensate. Now, that compensation might be reduced by some percentage of fault or responsibility. It still enables the injured person to be compensated and make their claim for recovery.
What if the injuries are of such an extent that the person can't contact you themselves? Can loved ones, someone else, contact you for them? They don't need to wait till that person is healed or able to make the contact themselves, right?
No, it's important that someone reaches out. Obviously, the person injured is assuming it's an adult, is the one who has to ultimately sign a retainer. But to the extent that that someone is injured, we often deal with family members in establishing a claim and getting a case set up so as to protect the record, protect the evidence, as I discussed earlier, and make certain that the photographs are obtained, the medical records, medical treatment is established. In fact, if someone's very seriously injured, we've had to have someone else appointed as a guardian because they're unable to establish what happened on their own or unable to retain a lawyer. So these are all factors that have to be considered. And the reason why consulting with a lawyer from the outset is an important thing to do.
Lots of great, helpful information as always, Kate. Thank you for making some time and answering our questions.
Thank you very much. Have a great day.
That's going to do it for this episode of Ask the Lawyer. My guest has been attorney Kathleen Reilly of New Jersey. If you want the best information or you're ready to choose a lawyer that lawyers choose, make sure to go to askthelawyer.com. Also, please take a sec to like, share, and subscribe below. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'm Rob Rosenthal with AskTheLawyers.com.